So quite often we'll get to this point where we're taking lots of action, we're trying to do our best to achieve our goals, but no matter what we seem to do, we're just not getting the result that we want. Now, it can be a tricky place to be because it's like, well, I'm putting in all this time, all this effort, all this energy, but yet I'm still not getting the result that I want. So it's almost like, well, what's the point? I might as well not bother with all this, not bother stressing myself out, overwhelming myself, and wasting all this time, effort, and energy when I could just do fuck all and essentially stay the same. It's like, why would I bother doing all of this for nothing? Now, the truth is, it's not for nothing. We tend to, whilst we're putting in the work, we tend to be growing. We often are moving, but we're not looking at the specific outcomes that are changing. We're looking at maybe the end goal, the one big target that we're trying to reach, and not necessarily noticing the improvements, the changes, the nuances along the way. But when we get to this point, there tend to be three reasons that I see for it. Now, the first one is that we're taking good action, but the problem is the level of action we're taking is not quite high enough yet. Now, there are rare occasions where the level of action we're taking is too high and we actually need to back things off because the body, for example, doesn't have the adaptive capacity to deal with it. So we're just overloading the system. It's like, well, no matter what I do, I'm trying to do all this stuff, but the body just won't change. You're trying to bombard it with too many things. It's essentially overstressed and it can't give you the result that you want. But generally speaking, it's not so much that. What we tend to see is that actually you're taking good action. We just need a few tweaks to make it better. We just need to do that little bit more to kind of push your body over the edge in order to get those changes that you're looking for. So it's not always that your effort is wasted or useless. It's just we've got to push the boundaries a little bit more, push ourselves out of our comfort zone just a touch more, tweak a few things, and then often the results will come. Now, another thing that we see is, well, you are taking action, but the problem is there is a lack of specificity in your action. So it's like you, for example, you might be trying to eat for fat loss. You might be eating healthy foods, but the catch is the ratios of the foods that you're eating, even though they are technically all healthy foods, the ratio is wrong for you to get the fat loss results that you want. Now, it may be that, for example, you've got too many carbohydrates. Yes, they're all complex carbs, for slow release energy, but that unfortunately isn't yielding the result that you want because the diet is too high in carbohydrate. It's affecting your blood sugar too much and therefore causing you to store and hold on to more body fat than you want. So sometimes we need to switch the diet up. Oh, maybe I'll reduce my carbs, increase my protein, increase my fat, make things a bit more specific to the outcome that I want. And then we start getting results. So it's like I am taking action, but the things that I'm doing need to be tweaked and changed so that they are more specific to the outcome I want. It's a bit like if I was trying to go into a bodybuilding contest, but all I was doing was marathon running. Like doing marathons is not necessarily going to get me bodybuilding prep ready or photo shoot prep ready, unless I was prepping to shoot for a marathon photo shoot, of course. But you know what I mean? Like if I want to show off my lean, ripped physique, then I'm not necessarily going to use long distance running to do that. Instead, I would use bodybuilding type protocols and so on in order to elicit that particular outcome because it's more specific to the thing I'm trying to achieve. Then the final thing that we have is we think we're taking action, but really we're just involved in activity. So it's like we're doing lots of things that keep us busy, lots of things that take up our time, lots of things that give us the feeling and the sense of taking action. But the action, again, is not specific. It's not real action. It's just things. I'm doing lots of stuff, keeps me busy, makes me feel like I'm trying real hard. But the catch is I'm not. Like none of these things are actually relevant to what I'm trying to achieve, which is similar to the last thing we just spoke about. But it's just a case of I'm just keeping myself too busy. So I give myself this sense of virtue, really, where I feel like I'm doing all this stuff, so therefore I'm entitled to a positive outcome. And unfortunately, we're not we're not entitled to the outcome unless we're doing the specific work required. Otherwise, we're just entitled to an outcome. That's it, not necessarily the specific one that we want. So we have to be mindful of that when we get to these places where we feel a bit stuck, like I'm doing all the stuff. Come on, what the fuck? Why aren't I getting the results? Because sometimes we just need to tweak some things. We maybe need to do a little bit more, maybe need to back it off, do a little bit less. Maybe the things I'm doing need to be more focused, more specific. Or maybe I actually need to stop wasting time on all this other shit that I think is helping or that makes me feel like I'm working hard and instead invest my time, effort, energy into things that are actually going to move me towards the outcome that I want. So just sit with yourself on that. If you feel like you're stuck in this place where results aren't happening regardless of how much you're trying, kind of sit with yourself and actually look at, well, what am I actually doing here? Is it relevant? Is it specific? And will it actually get me the result I want? And do I need to change it? That's all I got for you tonight, guys. As always, if you have any questions, of course, feel free to drop them in the comments below, or obviously reach out to me in the DMs, and I will get your questions answered as soon as I can. As always, thank you for watching, people. I appreciate your time, and I will chat to you in my next video.